So let's go ahead and move on to Dashboard Designer. Dashboard Designer is the premier design tool for dashboards in SAP, and they've done a lot of enhancements to make it more practical in the real world. So one of the things that has now been a much awaited feature is dynamic positioning of components. Instead of just dragging objects around the canvas and positioning them on left align or right align, you can now do actual X and Y coordinates for the position of it as well, for a number of components, text, containers, art, and backgrounds as well. It also supports binding precise width and height to components in your art and background categories. Now, one of the other things to fully integrate Dashboard Designer into the BI suite and to help your users with adoption of Dashboard Designer, they've also created a number of different terminology changes within Dashboard Designer. This allows you to kind of refer to the same chart. So this example combination chart has now become a column light chart, which you might be familiar with in Web Intelligence, and an XY chart is now a scatter plot. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go into the BusinessObjects Dashboard, and we're actually going to look at some of the new components that are available to us. So this is the new look of SAP Dashboard Designer 4.1. And as you can see, we have two charts in our canvas here. If we click on one of our properties here, we can scroll over to the appearance, right? We can go down to our layout here as well. And we can change our series, or our axes, or our text here as well. Now, for those who are not familiar with 4.0, one of the new components that have been added in 4.0 is a query browser. And what this allows us to do is to actually, instead of using a query as a web service, it allows us to use a actual universe or a BEX query as a data source, just as you would in any of the other querying tools available to you in BusinessObjects. So we can go ahead and select a universe. We'll go ahead and select our eFashion universe. Again, you need to use .unx universes inside of Dashboard Designer. And so we'll come back in. Now, UNX universes are, of course, those created by Information Design Tool and not by Universe Designer. Let's go ahead and go back. And then what we'll do is that we can simply pull down some information. So for our first and last name, and we'll go ahead and pull a measure over hours here. And you can apply a filter just like you would in anything else. And you can choose from a list of values. We'll go ahead and select Baggins. And if you wanted to choose a list, you could also do that here as well. And either prompt the user or come into our list of values here, and we could select a number of different members. And then you can refresh the data. You can see our three users, our three employees here. And go ahead and click Next. Confirm the data looks the way that you expect it to. And then this is very familiar to those people who have used Dashboard Designer before. You can refresh the components before being loaded. Or you can give a load status. You can trigger on a cell, however you want to do that. And then when you're finished, you can come to Query Browsers. You can see that there are current filters for this right here. You can see if there are any prompts. We don't have any here, but you could do that as well. You can also insert into spreadsheet right here. And just like everything else in Excel, in Excel CSS, you could put whatever you need in these items here as well. Now, one of the other big things that is capable with 4.0 after Service Pack 4 in Dashboard Designer is that we can also look at a number of mobile compatibility pieces. So, for example, a waterfall chart is a new addition to the mobile stable of charts that are available to you in BusinessObjects Dashboard Designer 4.1. And so we can see that we have a number of, this is our mobile compatibility tab. You can reach it from just the left-hand side of Dashboard Designer. And this is going to tell us what is working, what has issues, and what may not work inside your mobile device. So for example, my waterfall chart, which is fully functional and is allowed to be used. But my stack bar chart only allows mouse click for property interaction supported. This is the intrinsic nature of an iPad or an Android tablet, is that long press is not well supported within the BI mobile app. Now, for example, if we wanted to add another component, for example, let's go ahead and add a horizontal bullet chart. We'll just place that right here. Come to our mobile compatibility and refresh it. And so now you can see there's two different errors. There's the original error from stacked bar chart, and there's also an unsupported component, which is a horizontal bullet chart. What this means is that when you try to move this to a mobile device, this device will not be shown. So it's important before publishing any of these items to your repository that you have all supported components within inside of Dashboard Designer. Now you'll also see that we can save the platform as a dashboard object for mobile, dashboard object for desktop, and dashboard object for desktop and mobile. But all three of these items are important in their definition, so let's go ahead and define them. Just for a mobile device means that it's only going to be rendered on a mobile device. For desktop means that it's just going to be an XLF or a SWIFT, and a dashboard object for desktop and mobile will be able to be read by either one. So this means that you may want to hide certain features that are not available in mobile compatibility mode, and then publish that, and then publish another one that's named the exact same, but it's called a different title. In 4.1, instead of an old XLF and a SWIFT file being your two options, now the XLF and the SWIFT file are actually incorporated into one item that includes the new HTML5 components that have been built into the SAP BI mobile app. And just a quick overview, everything else is pretty much the same. You know, you'll have your object browser, you'll have your different list of components that are all available, including maps and trend icons and web connectivity and universe connectivity, which of course is new since the query browser means that you can now refresh queries directly from the universe as opposed through a query as a web service, which will call the query when you call it. You can also change your query prompt selectors here as well. And they act just very similar to the web connectivity, the URL button, the reporting services here, and then the connection refresh button right here, which refreshes a connection as opposed to a universal query. Moving on to mobile devices, you can see that these are the waterfall charts and bubble plot charts that are available for Dashboard Designer, and also a number of different capabilities there as well. So labeling is now kind of different as well. Dynamic labeling, labels, arts, single values, a whole number of things can now be dynamically positioned and used inside of your mobile device. And then finally, there's also a number of different flash variables that are being incorporated. Essentially, these are being written as HTML5 for publishing to your device, but they're being interpreted through flash variables. They're configurable in the CMC. You can import XMLs or CSVs, a number of different variables as well.